Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 16th of September 2019. We are going to have a look at Brent, American dollar. Okay, so if we look at this, you can see that we're kind of stuck in a bit of a range here, Philip. We have something like that, and now we're kind of contracting. And when price contracts like that, when we get kind of like a pennant formation, what it normally does, price gets squeezed and then it either pops higher or pops lower. And normally, price continues in the direction of the move. So if we have kind of price moving up, then we have this happening, it normally continues higher. So looking at this, I would say that this is probably going to continue higher. And this is on the monthly chart. Okay, so expectations that it'll move higher. If we look a little bit closer, we can see that we have price reacting at demand here. This is demand. I don't really have anything else there, but we have this here. Okay, and this was taken out. The origin of the move that took it out is, we had this here. This was tested, it went up, now it's gone. So the area that took this demand out is here. Price hasn't got there yet. Below price, we have this parent, we have this child. So the beginning of the buy zone is here for the monthly chart, and the beginning of the sell zone is up here. Come on, stop teasing. Like that. So if we have a look on the weekly chart, if we can have a bit of clarity, what do we have? One software update there. So we have this area that was tested. Okay, so we had divergence, we had a low, a low, a low into this demand. Price popped higher. Okay, we had this little area of supply which took out this child. So we had this. This was, let me zoom in. This was taken out by this. So move this to here. Okay. This was taken out by this. Tested. So this is still in play. Beginning of the buy zone. I'd be looking to buy lower for the time being. The reason being is this is not demand. This is simply price kind of moving lower. We have demand down here, and I would be keen to look to buy from here and lower. Why there? Well, because this is the beginning of the buy zone. We have the accumulation candle. This candle's close was above the high of this candle, so I'd take the low, the slingshot. This is like a micro demand. Price was pulled back and released, so the 52.28 is a really nice area to buy. But for the time being, you can see the software is telling us that we have downward sloping trend lines, sorry, hiccups. Looks like this. We're still going down, so until this is taken out, I'd be a little bit cautious. So let's go to the smaller time frames, if there's anything intraday. So we have this area which I like. The robot's wanting to trade it, so what the hell? I'll let it take that one. I only want one trade, so I'll let it. Okay, so saw that. I like that as well. It's a really nice kind of release, an attempt to push back. So the slingshot was pulled back to here, and then it released. We had a really nice release. Price could not get back up to this supply. It managed to release below that. What we do have is we do have kind of support here. So we have micro demand, which is driving price higher. You can see prices wriggling high. We have higher lows. We have these highs that have been taken out, and that price reacted to this child, which is at the area, the edge of this weekly supply. At the beginning of the sell zone, the release. Oops. Just here. So price went pretty close, didn't quite make it, and then we left. Then we have a beginning of a buy zone here. Price got to it. We had a bounce. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's see where we touched it the first time. Yeah, so this is kind of the first touch. We kind of moved through it, went down to this. This is the beginning of the monthly buy zone, and now we're wriggling higher. Price came down to the highs of this 4-hour demand, and then we gapped higher. This is fundamental that did this. This happened over the weekend. It's fundamentally driven. Now we gapped through this, and now we're gonna probably close the gap. Okay, so price is likely going to move lower. We're certainly going to see a bounce here, but the origin of this push is down in here. So I'd be keen to watch price when it comes down here at the 6400 area, because price is, I mean, this is, we have quoted prices. This is a high of the quoted price. It went here, then it gapped up. So price will typically return to a place, a price zone that's been quoted, which is going to be around here, and then probably move higher, or it will do something like that and go to an area that was able to accomplish something. And if we zoom in a little and have a look, yeah, well, we have this. I like this down here, so I'd be keen on looking for something down here. But at the same time, price has already been around this area. You see, we had a lot of trading around here. So if you look down here, this is a decent price level here. So I would be keen to look around here for something to do. So this is 56.73. The price has yet to go, but I think you could certainly. I haven't looked at the news, so I'm not certain what happened, what caused this, but I think you could certainly look to sell. I like this. This is nice. I like this is a parent child. Actually, this is kind of a continuation pattern here, so we have a few areas we could mark off. Okay, this was tested. We zoom in. This is lovely. We had a nice release, price move, and then we gapped down. So we had this market structure. We had support for price. Okay, so we had price come down here. It tested and moved up, and then it went down. And so there's probably some micro demand in here. There it is. You can see it right there. Okay, so this was tested here, and then this is gone. So this is the area of supply that took out this demand. It's been tested. So that would make me think, okay, well, I'm going to move my entry back up to here, because this is still in play. Okay, the beginning of the sell zone, these are the highs of the retracement here, and a push lower. So, I mean, that's what we have there. If we look below, and we have to look for these areas that are actually accomplishing something, and none of these have accomplished anything. We have this nice continuation pattern. This is just a really nice pattern. Okay, sell off, distribution, and then a dump, price return to that area, and but down here there's nothing. We didn't take this out. There's nothing here. I wouldn't be looking to buy anywhere here. This is the only half decent area, but this didn't accomplish anything. This is just a reaction to something to the left. So let's move back to the left, and here we have something here. So here we need to find something that looks interesting to us. So we need to find those areas of supply and demand. So I'm just going to do something. I'll do this out loud, because the price went down to here. So we need to find some supply that has been consumed, so we know where to start our analysis. Okay, so we have this here. Price went down. We tested this area here. Tested the beginning of the sell zone here. Price drove through this. So the origin of this move is lower. The origin of this move is lower. And we had like beginning of a buy zone here. Price tested it, and now it's been through it all the way down to this area here. So this is an okay area here. It's been tested already once, but I'd be keen to look higher. And you can see down here, and this is pretty clear, we have this is pretty far away from price, so twice the size, about like that. I think that's interesting. This is within that weekly area. So for the time being, I'd say we have to sit on our hands. You can look here. Here we have the beginning of a buy zone here. Here. Okay, I wouldn't buy here. I just don't like me. You see have like we have supply driving price. All the boxes are above price, and the boxes that are below price are below this. So this is not demand. This is a reaction to demand. The demand being somewhere down here, and you can see exactly where it is. We have this. Okay. This area of supply was taken out by what? Well, the candle that moved through it is this one here. So you can move that to here. Okay, and price went through it, and it kind of reacted at this resistance just here. Okay, so there's probably something in here that we should look at. So let's move this back. We're going to have a look down here on the maybe the 4 hour, the 1 hour. See if we can find out what it was that caused that. Yeah, I mean you can see here that we had this price. We have a kind of a wick to upside. It went down. We tested it once, twice, then it popped through. So this is the area here of demand that consumed the supply, and this is where price came to. Okay. So move this. Take off that whole area like that. That's been tested once. Let's see how it reacted the first time. Yeah, that wasn't a super strong reaction, so I'd look a little bit lower. And we want to find those other areas that have been consumed and find those areas of opposing order flows that consumed them. See, this was tested. There's nothing good here. You've got to move it down. You can keep going. This one here was gone by this one. What else do we have? And here we have a test of an area. This is messy as hell, isn't it? We'll mark off the highs. Let's mark off this whole pin buy area. Test. Gone. And then we have kind of the lower end of here. So here. Okay. Let's move this back one. This one left. The low of it is there. This one here. I'll do 2 times the size, or maybe just like that. And I'd say this is probably where we're going to get a bounce next time. Probably in this little bit here. Once this is rebalanced, well then our attention is brought to this. Okay, so we're going to take this away. Oops, that's right. And focus on this one here, or below. Okay, because this is kind of price consuming liquidity. Price left. This will be clear on the daily chart. Here it is. Our price kind of like moves sideways. This is a candle to the left. The low of it. We can move that down to here. This candle, that's debatable whether this one closed above this one. If it did, then you would look to the next ones here. This is pretty ugly here on this time frame, so you're going to be forced to go to the smaller time frames. When I see this, it's very easy for me. I'm just going to do something very quickly. Up here, I'm going to look for the release at a low. The release is here. It's going to go like that. Oops, wrong thingy. I just mark it off like this from the low, twice the size like that. There, so I'll be looking at the 51.76. So price could easily get down there because here we have a really nice push, a slingshot, and then release. And we have a lot of black space since this slingshot was pulled back, and so I wouldn't buy here. I would certainly look lower. If we look further, we can do the same thing over. Whoa. So if we look here, so we need to find supply, we need to find reactions at, we need to mark off the lows so we can track it. I'm going to change the color to something bright so I can see it. Okay, and I can see what it was that happened. Okay, so we had, where do we have tests? We had this area of supply, tested once, tested twice, price cut through it, and it tested the area just here, and price decided to test that area again. Looking below price, where do we have like a decent area? We have this down here, price left, slingshot, and release. And then you can keep going lower. So you've got to find these areas that have been tested. You need to find areas of supply and demand that have consumed opposing supply and demand. When you find those, then that's where you'll find your entries. So if we look at some things here, okay, this area, nice release, price moved below this low, we consume this, test, what area took it out? Well, we had something in here, this is a child, this is the parent. It's just a nice pattern, this one here. Like that. Okay. Cool, I'll leave it at that. I hope that gives you something to work with. But yeah, have any questions, post them in the forum.